Greetings to all, John from North Wales here. This is the August-September 2019 build, the TS-11 Iskra. Just bring your attention, or disadvantage, the following video is specifically aimed at adult scale modelers. The techniques and methods presented here require time, patience and a reasonable modelling tool set, including an airbrush. The PZL Iskra is a Polish trainer developed and manufactured by the PZL-Mielec. It's been used by the Air Forces of India and Poland. It is noticeable as being the first jet-powered aircraft to be produced and designed in Poland, and saw over 50 years of service. So there's a bit more info here about this classic jet type. And you can see some pictures here, very much showing its grounds as being an early jet trainer. A simple, compact and very efficient little design that I think is regarded in Poland with quite a strong degree of affection. So a rather nice little aeroplane in my mind. I bought this kit back at the Cosford Model Show and decided to build it as part of a buddy build with KillBox Scalemodelling. The moulding is of excellent quality with fine panel lines and crisp detail. It's a really nice spruce. It's a new kit and it really shows through. I think it's well worth getting this one. I can't recommend it anymore. And you can see there a bit more the fuselage halves. There's plenty of detail there as well. The decal sheet is very nicely printed and gave option for aircraft. So if we look here, this is me starting up with the photo etch. So the kit did come with photo etch and masks, and I used a different cutting mat to cut this, and I also used it to help me impart a curve. So and that was to do the curving on the instrument panel. I'm not the greatest fan of photo etch, to be perfectly honest with you, but I tried to do what I could with it here. It was mostly for the cockpit. And you can see in there I used fishing weights for the nose. Oh, not fishing weights, air gun pellets for the nose, squashed up and then super glued in place. The canopy mask was okay. I found it a little bit hyper tacky almost, but it was nice. The quality of the printed canopy masks was quite good. It certainly conformed well to the curve, and that's the canopy masked up. You had to apply some of your own masking tape in the central area as well. First time I've really used pre-cut masks, and yeah, not sure if I'm a massive fan of them, but anyway. So the assembly didn't give too many problems. Minimum of filling required, not really much rescribing, and this is the painting as normal. I start with a black undercoat if I'm going to do metallics. So there it's spraying on the black base. I used a matte black base in this case, using the Tamiya paints. Try to make sure you make a good complete job of that. And then using the Vallejo metal layer, layered up. Now I've got to be honest with you, this is where I did have a little bit of an issue with here. That one patch, I think I just misjudged it, and I had one area where it just seemed to refuse to set. I had a bad finish. And it just needed reworking. So while it looks good here, I just don't know if there was an area maybe I hadn't cleaned it up properly, but you can see near the cockpit it's dark, and it just didn't spray up right there somehow. Not entirely sure what happened. Probably shouldn't have overlaid it so much, but the main goal was I would be applying the metal layer and then apply a matte varnish to it. I think the main problem I had was actually when I put the matte varnish on one patch, it did give problems, and there is sprayed up and really ready for decaling. Went together very well, as I said, with no major issues. And here we're already at applying the decals. You can see that's the Tamiya decal tray. one of my useful tools, and then getting the decals to sit with Microset and Microsol, which in all fairness they did so very well indeed. I'd also by that stage corrected the spray painting issue, so it created a bit of tonal variation as well. And I think it probably have included a little bit more than I would have on the decaling side, but the decals I tend to apply quite once I've just got the basic painting done, because you do want the panel line and washes and all that side to go over the decals where possible. My approach tends to be I start with large decals and then just work my way down until I just can't be asked anymore. So I think I applied quite a lot of the stencils on this, but probably not every single one of them. Yes, I do think this chunk of the video I probably included a little bit too much, just focusing on the decaling. But in all fairness, with the way this kit went together, it didn't really have all that masses of filling, sanding, rescribing, and the normal levels of rework. It's a very forgiving kit. Unlike the one that I built after that, the Antonov 74, which is a whole different ball game. But yeah, I did find the Iskra to be quite forgiving. I added intake covers because one area I wasn't happy with was the intake, and I did find some diagrams of just canvas covers put on it, and those showed the pitted flags using Tamiya tape before I painted it red. So I wanted to build a model covered up as it was parked up with pitted covers, intake covers. Now for the a wash, I just used black oil wash, thinned down, applied and then wiped off. After that, it was a case of the making good use of the Tamiya weathering powders. I am a fan of those. Now those, I should have explained, were applied after the decals had been sealed in with another with a coat of matte varnish. And then after the Tamiya weathering powders go on, I will seal them up with yet another layer of matte varnish. I am a fan of these, to be honest with you. They work quite well, and I think it's a case of just layering it up. One of the main strengths of them is I find just for getting that tonal variation. And sometimes if you don't necessarily go too heavy with the pre-shading and that side of it, I find that the weathering powders can take you to that level quite well. Some people don't get on with them, but I'm a fan of Tamiya weathering powders, and means I can go to a cosmetic store and get the cosmetic brushes and that side of it. I find those are excellent for applying them. And the models being worked there, I used the darker powders to give me the staining around the engine exhaust. I'm going to be honest with you guys, the camera angles I used here weren't probably the best, and so there we have it, finished. Not a kit that gave any great issues. The issues I did run into were more of my own making, but certainly in terms of fit and that side of it, yeah, I'd recommend this kit hugely, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a lovely looking little aeroplane. I think Tommy from KillBox Scalemodelling made an absolutely great job of his build, and I think we took slightly different approaches, but nonetheless his Iskra came out absolutely cracking, and I think you really can't go too far wrong with this kit. So just enjoy these pics for a little bit. I will say, guys, and this may be going back a little bit, this is the first vid where I added in that cautionary note. We all know the current issues that have been on YouTube, and I think, so I do apologise to any younger modelers. If you're under 16, just for child safety protection, I will not be replying to any messages from you. So this was a great little kit. Overall quality is excellent. It was a pleasure to build. I think Arma make the best 1/172nd scale Iskra currently out there. The kit comes in a number of different levels, with different levels of stencils, photo etch, some with resin, and you can really do quite a lot with this kit. So I would say thank you for watching. Happy modelling. This is Chancellor North Wales signing out.